think about if I would be a horse, so what would I like? Do I like it super tight? So I think if we just put the saddle on the horse and girth it up and the horse wouldn't move, then it should fit like a tight t-shirt. It's my first gut instinct. But because the horse's movement is in the walk, when you ride bareback, you feel what I mean. The back goes up and down, and the trot a little bit faster. In the canter, it feels like you're sitting on a caterpillar, where they canter through you, like they jump through the croup, and then hopefully like a wave, the back brings the power towards the forehand. So the back is definitely different in movement. So when the saddle sits on the horse, I think the saddle should move a little bit. It shouldn't fit like a wet t-shirt. In other words, it doesn't move at all. It should move with the back, but also be able to get out of the way. What I mean with out of the way is, for example, the canter. I just explained the canter goes like a caterpillar. So if my hand would be, this is the front, this is the back, walk is this way. And if you're sitting on top, you kind of feel that. So it trots a little faster. Canter, they jump through the croup and then this rolling motion. So if the horse jumps into the canter or in the canter, we don't want to block the back coming into me. So I want to see the saddle loose in the back. So if I'm looking at technology, where we see gait analysis or heart monitor or computerized saddle pad, it always shown on the horse's vital sign, not what I believe, but on the horse's vital sign, that the horse does better if the saddle is a little looser, but secure, so it doesn't roll from left to right or go forward or backwards. Sort of the analogy, what you mentioned on the ski boot, it should be a good fit, but the toes need to wiggle in the ski boot. So the saddle should be secure to the horse's back, but it shouldn't block any movements. So if I use a computerized saddle pad, if I adjust the saddle, what looks good to the eye, in other words, the saddle doesn't move at all in the walk, trot, canter. Perfect. Doesn't even lift a little bit in the back. I always see, when we take the computerized saddle pad, massive pressure in the back, and the horse starts to brace. It goes hollow. So while it looks to the naked eye, oh, that's a good fit because the saddle doesn't move. Compare that to a ski boot, where it's really tight everywhere, and your toes cannot wiggle. So all of you folks who do downhill skis or any kind of a sport where you cannot move your toes to balance yourself, you know how horrible that would be. So the question makes me really think, but when I look at the analogy tools like the heart monitor, gait analysis, computerized saddle pad, the saddle should always move in the back. Not to the part when you rise the trot, the saddle bounces and hits you in the butt. That's not what I'm saying. But the saddle needs to move and get out of the horse's way, especially if I'm asking for lateral or upwards or downwards transition. It cannot dig into the back and cannot not move. So I wouldn't go with the red t-shirt analogy. I would go with a ski boot. It should be secure, but it should be able to wiggle the toes.